Hi everyone, I welcome you all to Undergrad Academy. So in this lesson, we will be learning all the important concepts you need to master in order to become a Python developer. So before we begin, I request you all to please subscribe to our channel and press the bell button to never miss any updates from Undergrad Academy. So here's what we have got for our today's agenda. We'll be starting with a small introduction to Python programming language, then we will discuss variables in Python, conditional statements, operators, data types, lists in Python, tuples, sets, for loops, while loops, for else loop in Python, dictionaries, functions, exception handling, file handling, and JSON files in Python. We will also be making some quite interesting projects to brush up your skills. So we will write Python code to generate QR code, checking from prime numbers in Python, and finding factorial of a number in Python. So let's begin. So first of all, what is Python? It is a general purpose programming language, often applied in scripting roles. So it can also be termed as a scripting language. Moreover, Python is an interpreted language. We have two types of languages. One is compiled and other is interpreted. Let's look at the difference between compiled and interpreted languages. Compiled languages are those languages that will convert your entire code or program into a machine code first, and after the conversion is done, only then you will be able to get the results or see your output. On the contrary, in interpreted languages, the single line of your code will be converted to machine language, and after that, you will be able to see the output. So in interpreted languages, the high-level language code will be converted to machine language line by line, and you will get the results after each line is executed. So here we have some examples of compiled and interpreted languages. C, C++, Go, Fortran, Pascal, and JavaScript are some of the compiled languages, whereas for interpreted we have Python, PHP, Ruby, JavaScript, MATLAB, etc. for interpreted languages. So let's look at the history of Python. There was a man named Guido van Rossum who was a fan of a TV show of Netherlands named Monty Python's Flying Circus. So he developed this language in early 90s and named it after his favorite show, that is Monty Python's Flying Circus. So the real question is that why people use Python and what are its benefits? How can it benefit humans? So these are the some primary factors by using Python. First and most important is that it is object-oriented. It includes concepts like polymorphism, operation overloading, and multiple inheritance. Moreover, it is free and open source. You can download and install it Python for free and easily. Source code is also easily accessible. Thirdly, it is powerful, having built-in tools and libraries such as NumPy, SciPy, pandas that are used for data analysis by many data scientists. It is portable and can run exactly same manner in any platform like Windows or iOS. When you start using Python, you will find out it seems like you are writing English, hence it is really easy to learn. Its structure and syntax is pretty intuitive and easy to grasp. Moreover, it is mixable. You can link it with the components written in other languages like C or C++, etc. And last but not least, it is of course easy to use and easy to learn as well. Let's have a look at who uses Python today. Companies like Google, HP, Seagate, Qualcomm, Facebook, IBM, YouTube, ESRI, Intel, Cisco uses Python for hardware testing, for mapping products, and most of their video sharing services is largely written in Python. Here we have some applications of Python. You can develop websites and frameworks using Django and Flask in Python. Django and Flask are two types of frameworks used for web development, and mostly Django is preferable. You can do web testing in Python using Selenium. You can develop games using Pygame in Python. And of course, Python is really helpful in artificial intelligence and data science. It is also applicable to the big data and of course the IoT, smart devices, and of course the Raspberry Pi. What can you do with Python is system programming, graphical user interface programming, internet scripting, component integration, database programming, gaming, images, XML, robot, and more. You can also convert images to text, PDF to text using Python. So now that we have learned a lot about the introduction, history, and scope of Python, you all must be really excited to get your hands dirty with Python. So let's start writing our first program, that is Hello World, as every one of us enters the world of programming by writing Hello World. In Python, to write any statement to console, we use a specialized keyword that is print. Remember, print isn't capitalized. So I suggest you all to download PyCharm, that is an IDE for writing Python scripts to write your Python code. So let's go to our PyCharm. So here I have opened PyCharm and I have created a new folder known as Python course, and I will right click on it, and here I will say new, click on Python file, and we'll name it as introduction. So here it's open. So now let's print hello world to the console. Type print, parentheses, and inverted commas, and write hello world. So now you can click here, run, introduction, and here you get the answer. So hello world is printed to the console. Remember to use these parentheses and inverted commas after the print statement. Okay, so to print our statements onto the console, we have three different ways of doing it by using single inverted commas, double inverted commas, or mixed inverted commas. So let's do it in our PyCharm. So we have already done it for double inverted commas. Let's do it for single inverted commas and for mixed inverted commas. So now let's run this. And here we have this inverted commas before world and after world. And this is how we can print three types of print statements on our Python console. Okay, so now let's discuss escape sequences. Escape sequences are used to perform some operations, some specific operations like moving to next line, or having a horizontal tab, that is 8 spaces, or carriage return, or backslash. Let's try out all these four on PyCharm. In order to go to the next line, we may insert here backslash n to go to the new line. And let's run this. So here, world is printed on the next line. To get an 8 spaces tab, let's print D. And here we have 8 spaces tab here. In order to return the carriage, like instead of this hello, the world will be printed. We will say backslash R. So here world is printed instead of that hello. And for the last one, in order to print the backslash itself, we will include 2 backslashes. So here we have hello world. So let's talk about comments in Python. Comments are used to help us to make our programs more readable for humans or other programmers. We use this hash symbol for single line comments like hash this will print hello world. So this hash statement, that is this will print hello world, is telling us that this print will print hello world. So that don't get confused please. And we use triple quotes for multiple line comments, like this will print hello world in multiple lines. So let's try them out in our PyCharm. So let's write our comment, this will print hello world. So let's see, it is not highlighted. Edit is just for human readability. Let's print it, and this won't get printed. So make it a multi-line comment by writing 3 quotation marks. In the end, don't forget to close these quotation marks. Let's print these. So nothing gets printed. It's just a comment. So let's have a look at what are variables. A variable is a reserved memory location to store values or a string or anything. And variables can be declared by any name or even alphabet like A, B, C, D. If it's some characters in closing quotes, then it's a string. There are some rules for naming variables. It never includes a variable name in quotation marks. Variable names can't have spaces in them. Like here, we have declared a variable name which is equals to Undergrad Academy, and channel name is equals to Undergrad Academy. X is equals to Undergrad Academy. So you can have any name for a variable. There are 3 ways to create a string variable using single quotes, double quotes, or even triple quotes. So let's open our PyCharm and do some practice of variables. So here I have opened my PyCharm. Let's declare a variable name and make it equal to Undergrad Academy. Now let's print this variable. Let's print it. So here the variable Undergrad Academy is printed. So in this way you can create variables. You can also concatenate this variable name with a string like this. The channel name is name. So in this way you can concatenate this name, that is Undergrad Academy, with this string. Let's run this, and here you get the channel name is Undergrad Academy. So in this way you can concatenate the strings. Let's say this is name and this is name 1, and we can also concatenate these 2 variables like this by adding this plus sign here, because we can't concatenate 2 variables by a comma. So we can concatenate these 2 variables by adding a plus sign. Let's say plus name 1. Let's run this. So here we don't have any gap between this Undergrad and Academy. We can also include a gap here by adding a plus sign and having 2 quotation marks and having a space in between them. So let's print this, and here the channel name is Undergrad Academy. So in this way we can also concatenate different multiple variables in one single print statement. So we can also have variable for numbers. We can also assign numeric values to variables and can perform arithmetic or different operations on it. Unlike a string, a number is not enclosed in quotation marks. A number can't be used as a variable name. If you enclose a number in quotation mark, it's a string and no arithmetic operations can be performed. For example, here we have a number that is equivalent to 43 and another number to be added is 5. So we can easily perform the addition between these two by declaring a new variable, new number. And this new variable, new number, will have the value of 48. So let's run this on our PyCharm. So now let's declare a variable for numbers, like number is equivalent to 12 and number 2 is equivalent to 14. Now let's print this by doing the addition. Print number and number 2. Let's run this. So here we get 26, the sum of these 2 numbers. So we can also concatenate this addition with a string like the sum is, and having a comma over here. So now it will say the sum is 26. So in this way we can concatenate this variable, the number, the sum, with the string. And we can also explicitly declare it into another variable, like addition is equals to number plus number 2, And now let's print this addition. So we'll get the same answer, that is 26. So these are some ways that how can we perform operations on variables of numbers. So these are some reserved words which you can't use for declaring variable names that are and, as, assert, break, class, continue, def, del, elif, except, else, false, finally, for, from, global, if, import, in, is, lambda, none, non-local, not, or, pass, print, raise, return, true, try, while, with, yield. These are some reserved words which you can't use for declaring variable names. Here are some rules for naming our variables. A variable name can contain only lowercase letters, uppercase letters, numbers, and underscores. Though a variable name can't be any of Python keywords, it can contain any of those keywords like class or something like class, function, etc. Capital letters are fine, but be careful. Variable names are case sensitive. A rose with a lowercase r is not a rose with an uppercase r. If you assign the string floribundus to the variable rose and then ask Python for the value assigned to rose with the capital R, you'll come up empty. Python's governing body recommends breaking up multi-word variables with underscore. That's what I'll ask you to do with your own variable names. It will make them more readable and you'll be less likely to get variables mixed up. Okay, in Python we have this typecasting or type conversion. The process of converting the value of one data type, that is integer, string, float, etc., to another data type is called type conversion. And Python has these two types of type conversions, that is implicit type conversion or explicit type conversion. In implicit type conversion, Python automatically converts one data type to another data type. This process doesn't need any user involvement, whereas in explicit type conversion, users convert the data types of an object to required data type. We use the predefined functions like integer, float, string, etc. to perform explicit type conversions. This type conversion is also called typecasting because the user casts, that is, change the data type of the object. So let's try them out in our PyCharm. So let's declare a number and make it equals to 4.0, that is floating number, and declare another number and make it equals to 2. So let's print the division of it. Print number 1 divided by number 2. So what can you expect the answer to be? The answer will be 2.0. It will be implicit type conversion. It will implicitly convert this integer into a float, that is 2.0. Now let's perform the explicit type conversion on this number. We will declare here integer and convert this number to integer. So we won't get 2.0, we'll get 2 instead of this 2.0 because we have explicitly converted that float into an integer. So these are some assignments I want you guys to do, and if you have any problem with any of it, you can write your queries in the comment section below. So what are conditional statements? Conditional statements in Python perform different computations or actions depending on whether a specific Boolean constraint evaluates to true or false. Don't get confused, we will discuss them one by one. First of all, let's look at what are the types of conditional statements. There are 3 types of conditional statements in Python. Number 1 is if statement, then we have else statement, and in the end we have elif statement. So what is if statement in Python? In Python, if statement is used for decision making, okay? It will run the body of code only when if statement is true. When you want to justify one condition while the other condition is not true, then you see if statement. Like in this block diagram, we first of all have the if block here, and I will check for this condition. If it is true, only then the statement inside that if will run. Other than if the statement is false, if this condition is false, then the rest of the code will run and this statement will not run. Here we have example of if statement in Python. Here we have a code in which a is equals to 33, b is equals to 200. We will check if b is greater than a only if this condition is true. Then this print block will run. So if b is greater than a, and here in this condition it is true that b, which is equals to 200, is greater than this a, which is equals to 33. So b is greater than 33. So if only this condition is true, then this block will run. So as this condition is true here, so this will run, and with the output will be b is greater than a. So let's try a code on if statement on our PyCharm. Okay, so now here we have a PyCharm. Let's write name is equals to Undergrad Academy. And let's see if this name is equals to Undergrad Academy. Print the channel name is correct. And let's, without the indentation, print hello world. Let's run this and see, as the name is equivalent to this Undergrad Academy, that's why it will run this print statement. And if we change this name as Undergrad Academy 1, and let's see if it runs this block or not. So as this block isn't true, the name isn't equal to Undergrad Academy 1. That's why this block won't run. Only this block will run, as it is out of this if statement. If we include this indentation with if, so it means that this print statement is within this if. And if we don't have any indentation, it means that this print statement is outside this if, and this statement will run no matter what. So here we have the else statement in Python. The else keyword catches anything which isn't caught by the preceding condition. So like here, we have a condition that will be that we will have this if condition. This is the task expression. Here we have the if, and this is the condition. If it is true, then the body of if will run, like the statements inside the if will run if and only if this condition is true. And if this condition is false, then it will look for the else condition. If there is an other condition, then it will look for the else. Then like if this condition is true, it will go to if, and if it is not true, then it will go to else, and then the rest of the code will run. So here we have example of else statement in Python. We have a code here in which a is equals to 200, b is equals to 33. It will check if b is greater than a, and here b is not greater than a, then it will run this else statement, that is a is greater than b. So if and only if this condition is false, then it will go to this else block and will print the statements inside this else block, and the output will be a is greater than b. So let's have a look at the else statement on our PyCharm. So here we have opened our PyCharm, and let's include the else statement after this if. Say else print the channel name is incorrect. So now what do you think what will run? It will run the else statement, as this if isn't true, the condition isn't true. So it will run the else statement as well as this print statement, because it is outside this if. So here we have the elif statement in Python. The elif keyword in Python is the way of saying if the previous conditions were not true, then try this condition. So here we have the if condition, and if it is true, it will run the body of if, and if it is false, then it will go to this elif and it will check this elif condition. If it is true, then it will run this body of elif, and if both of these conditions are false, finally it will go to this else and it will run this body of else and the entire remaining code. So here we have example of the elif statement in Python. First of all, we have this code in which a is equals to 200 and b is equals to 200 as well. it will first of all check if B is greater than A, and here as B is not greater than A, so it will not run this statement. It will go to this elif and will check if A is equal to B. So as here both are 200, so here in this code this elif condition is true and A is actually equal to this B. So it will run this statement inside this elif. So here the output will be A and B are equal. So as this elif statement is true, so it will not run this else statement. So let's try them out in our PyCharm. Now we have opened our PyCharm. So let's run the elif statement. Here we'll include elif name is equals to Undergrad Academy. Print the channel name is Undergrad Academy. So let's see which statement will run. As here the name condition isn't correct, as it says if check if name is equals to Undergrad Academy 1. So this name isn't correct. So it will not run this condition. Instead it will go to this elif block. It will check if name is equals to Undergrad Academy, and here it is actually equal to the Undergrad Academy. So it will run this print statement and it will not run this else statement because this elif statement is true. If this elif statement is false and this statement is false as well, only then it will run this else statement. So in this position it will not run this else statement. So let's run this. It will say the channel name is Undergrad Academy with this elif statement and as well as this hello world because it is outside the if block. So what are operators? Operators are the constructs which can manipulate the value of operands. Consider this expression, this 4 plus 5 is equal to 9. Here 4 and 5 are called the operands and this plus sign is called the operator. So we'll discuss all of the operators, and here are all the type of operators. First of all, we have arithmetic operators, comparison or relational operators, assignment operators, logical operators, bitwise operators, membership operators, identity operators. So let's have a look at the Python arithmetic operators. Here we have the plus, minus, multiply and divide, which is addition, which will add two operands, x plus y, a subtraction, which will subtract two operands, x minus y, multiplication, which will multiply two operands, x multiplied by y, and division, which is a float. So it will this division will give the answer in float, which will divide the first and operand by the second, that is x divided by y. Moreover, in Python arithmetic operators, we have this modulus, which will return the remainder when first operand is divided by the second, here x modulus y, and double multiplication, which is equivalent to exponential, which will raise the first number to the power of the second, so it will be x to the power y. And we have the double division, which is equivalent to floor division, which will divide the first operand by the second and will give the answer in integer form, as it will truncate the floating parts. So it is equal to x double divide y. So let's have a look at all of them in our PyCharm. So here I have written all the possible types of Python arithmetic operators. Here I have declared x is equals to 15 and y is equals to 4. So x plus y is equals to will be equals to 19, x minus y will be equals to 11, x multiplied by y, that is 15 into 4, will be equals to 60, 15 divided by 4 will be equals to 3.75, 15 mod 4 is equals to 3. So we need to calculate mod, like if we will multiply this 4 with a number that will give an answer less than 15, like we will multiply this 4 with 3 so get 12, because if we multiply 4 with 4 we'll get 16 and it will become greater than 15. So we'll multiply 4 with 3 to get 12 and we will subtract 12 from 15, like 15 minus 12, so we'll get 3. So it is a remainder, it is a modulus of x and y. So and 15 divided by y, double divided by y will give the integer value and will be equal to 3, not 3.75 like this, and x double multiplied by y will actually raise this 4 to the power 15, like 15 to the power 4 will give 450625. So let's run this. So I have got all the output statements. Secondly, we have the Python comparison operators. We have double equals, which is equal to equal. So it will check if x is equal to y. We have not equal, x is not equal to y. We have greater than, x is greater than y. We have less than, x is less than y. We have greater than or equal to, it will check if x is greater than or equal to y, and less than or equal to, it will check x if x is less than or equal to y. So let's have a look at all of them in our Python. Here I have all the comparison or relational operators in Python. So first of all, I have x is equals to 10 and y is equals to 12. So we'll check if x is greater than y. So here 10 is not greater than 12, so it will give false. And 10 is less than y, so it will give true. 10 is equals to 12, it will give false. 10 is not y, it will give true because 10 and 12 are not equal because of this not operator. If x is greater or equal to y, it will give false because x is neither greater nor equal to 12. Similarly, for x is less than or equal to y, it will give true because x is not equal to y but x is less than y. So let's run this. So here we have x is greater than false, true, false, true, false, true. So on number 3, we have Python assignment operators. Here we have the is equals to operator, which will assign this value 5 to this x, which is x equals to 5. It is same as x is equals to 5. We have plus is equals to. That is x plus is equals to 5 is equivalent to x is equals to x plus 3. So it will add the x as well as 3 in it. So this plus equal to is equivalent to this x plus 3. Similarly, minus equivalent to is equals to x minus equivalent to 3 is equals to x is equals to x minus 3. Multiply and is equals to x multiply is equals to 3. It is same as x is equals to x multiplied by 3. And similarly for division, it is equals to x is equals to x divided by 3. And for modulus, x is equals to x modulus 3. And all of them are similar to each other. So here I have written an example for Python assignment operators. I have assigned x is equals to 3. And if I increment x is equals to x plus 3, it will give 6. And similarly, if I do this x plus is equals to 3, instead of this x is equals to x plus 3, it will again give 6 obviously. So it means that this x is equals to x plus 3 is equal to x plus is equals to 3. So let's run this. So see, both of these will give the answer 6, will give the same answer. So both are equivalent to each other. On number 4, we have Python logical operators. The operator name is AND. It will return true if both the statements are true. Here, if x is less than 5 and x is less than 10, only if both of these statements are true, that is x is less than 5 and x is less than 10, only if both of these true, then it will return true. Another operator is OR. It will return true if one of the statement is true. X is less than 5 or x is less than 4. If any of these conditions are true, it will return true. Not will reverse the result, returns false if the result is true. Not x is less than 5 and x is less than 10. If both of the statements are true, it is AND. So both the statements have to be true. And if both the statements are true, with the not, it will return false. If without the not, it will return true, and with not, it will return false. So let's have a look at them in our Python. So here I have an example for Python logical operator. It says that x is equals to 4, y is equals to 4, and z is equals to 4. It will check if x is equal to y and if y is equal to z. It will say yes, true. It will print this statement only if both of these statements are true because of this AND operator here. So let's run this. So it says yes, true. If I change any of these, like if I change it to 5, it will not run this statement inside the print because it will not jump to this statement because this statement is false. So if I change this, because in AND operator, both of these statements have to be true, but in OR condition, only one condition have to be true, like if y is equals to z or if x is equals to y. So let's say that x is equals to y, but y is not equals to z because I've changed the value of z to 5. So let's run this. It will run this statement because this x is equals to y condition is true, that is 4 is equals to 4, but in the case of y is equals to z, the condition is not true. but because of this OR operator, it will run this statement because at least one statement is true here. For learning the Python bitwise operators, we first of all have to know what is a bit. Suppose that I have a number 5. In binary, it will be written like 0, 1, 0, 1. So here it is 0 or 1 or 0 or 1. These all are bits. So altogether, here we have 4 bits. So we have 4 types of binary arithmetic operations like binary addition, binary subtraction, binary multiplication, and binary division. To perform the binary addition, we have this like 0 plus 1 will be equal to 1. And if we add 1 with 0, it will return 1. But if we add 1 with 1, it will return 1, 0. So here we have 0 plus 1, 1, 0 plus 0, 0, 1 plus 1, 0, and 1 will be here in the carry, and it will 0 plus 0 and 1. So it will give 1, 0, 0, 1. So we'll perform these binary addition in our PyCharm later. First, let's discuss the binary multiplication too. So if we multiply 1 with 0, it will return 0. If we multiply 1 with 0 again, it will return 0. But if we multiply 1 with 1, it will return 1. So here we have 1 into 0 is equals to 0, 0 into 0, 0, 1 into 1 is 1, and 0 into 0 will give 0. But this binary multiplication is not performed like this. It will be performed like we perform a multiplication on our normal decimal digits. So we'll get 4 5s are 20. 4 into 5, 20. So this multiplication will not be performed like this. Just to give you an overview of how to perform binary multiplication, we have written it like this. 1 into 1 is equals to 1, and 1 into 0 is equals to 0. So you just have to remember this too, that 0 into 1 is equals to 0 and 1 into 1 is equals to 1. So here we have the Python bitwise operators. Operator name is this. Operator is specified by this and its name is and the description is it sets each bit to 1 if both bits are 1, like 1 into 1 is equals to 1. Only if 1 into 1 is equals to 1, but if 0 into 1 is, obviously it is 0. So for OR, we have the addition actually. So it sets bit 1 if one of two bits is 1, like 0 plus 1 or 1 plus 0 or 1 plus 1. So it will give 1. But if it is 0 plus 0, obviously it will give 0. So let's try them out in our PyCharm. So here I have written a code for Python bitwise operators and OR. This represents and this represents OR. I have declared A is equals to 10 and B is equals to 4. So we'll check if A and B, like A and B, and N is equal to true or 1 if both the bits are 1. And for OR, if only one bit is 1, it will give 1. So let's run this. So for this, it will give 0. For this AND operation, it will give 0. And for this OR operation, it will give 14. So let's discuss how it is giving this 0 and 14. So what was happening in that bitwise AND operator is that it returns 1 if both the bits are 1, else 0. So this is how we write 10 in binary 1010, and this is how we write 4 in binary, that is 0100. So in order to perform this AND operation between this A and B, that is 1010 and 0100, so it returns 1 if both the bits are 1. So we have 0 and 0 multiplied by 0, it will give 0. 1 multiplied by 0, it will give 0. 0 multiplied by 1, it will give 0. And 1 multiplied by 0 will give 0. So because of this, we got this 0 in our PyCharm before. So here we have the bitwise OR operator. It returns 1 if either of the bits is 1, else it returns 0. So this is how we write 10 in binary 1010 and 4 in binary 0100. So in order to perform this OR operation between A and B, we write 1010 or 0100. So it returns 1 if at least one bit is 1. So here we have 0 plus 0, so it will give 0. We have 1 plus 0, it will give 1. We have 0 plus 1, it will give 1, and 1 plus 0, it will give 1. And this is equal to 14 in decimals. That's why we got 14 in our PyCharm last time we ran that code. So here we have the Python membership operators. Operator name is n, and it returns true if a sequence with a specified value is present in the object. Like we will check if x is present in y, and if this x is present in y, then it will return true. Similarly, for not in operator, it returns true if a sequence with a specified value is not present in the object. Like if x is not present in y, only then it will return true. Else, if x is present in y, it will return false. So let's try them out in our PyCharm. So here I have written a piece of code for membership operators. I have declared that x is equals to hello, whereas y is equals to e. So it will check that if this y, that is e, is present in this hello in x. So it will check if print, it will check that y in x or y not in x. So as this e is present in hello, it will return true. Whereas in this condition, it will return false because y is present in e and we are checking for not in. So let's run this. So it returns true for y is present in x and false for y not in x. So here we have Python identity operators. Operator name is and it returns true if both variables are the same object. Like if x and y are same objects, we will check if x is y, and if x is y, then it will return true, and if x is not y, then it will return false. For is not, it will return true if both of them are not same objects. Like if x is not y and we are checking for is not condition, it will return true. If we are checking for is condition, it will return false. So let's try them out in our PyCharm. So here I have written a piece of code for Python identity operators. I have declared x1 is equals to 5 and y1 is equals to 5. So if we see that if x1 is not y, like it will check if both of these are equal, if both of these are same. So as here x1 is equal to y, x1 is y, so it will return false here because of this not, and it will return true here because x1 is y. Actually x1 is y because both are equal to 5. So it returns false for the first statement, x1 is not y1, and return true for x1 is y1. What are data types? A data type in programming is a classification that specifies which type of value a variable has and what type of mathematical, relational, or logical operations can apply to it without causing an error. So here we have the types of data types in Python. The data type name is string. It is used for alphanumeric characters, example hello world, undergrad academy, hi, hello, anything, in string form. We have another data type that is integer, used for whole numbers, that is 7, 12, 9, 99 or 1, 2, 3, but in integers. Another data type is float or the floating points. Number with a decimal point like 3.15 or pi, that is 3.14, 9.06, 00.13. Another data type is boolean, representing logical values like true or false. So let's have a look at all of them in our PyCharm. So here I have opened my PyCharm and I have declared x is equals to 56. In order to know the type of the data type, we have a function named as type. So in this print statement, we have type of x. We will know the type of x. Obviously, it is an integer because it does not have any floating point. Here I have x is equals to 56.4, which is an integer. And in order to know its type, we will pass it into this function and the parameter name x. Here we have x is equals to undergrad academy, and in order to know its type, obviously we'll pass it in the print function and the type function. And here I have x is equals to true. Obviously it is a boolean type, so it will so let's run all of these. And so here I have the answer, that is class is equals to integer. For this x, class is equals to float. For this x, that is floating point, class is equals to string. For this x, that is undergrad academy, and the boolean for true. And you can also change it to false, obviously, because in boolean we have two types, that is true and false. So it will again give the boolean. So what are lists in Python? List is a collection which is ordered and changeable, allows duplicate members, and you can also include integers, floating points, strings in one list. Like in other programming languages, you don't have an opportunity, you don't have this option to include different data types in one list, but in Python, list is obviously equivalent to an array, but in Python we call it as a list, not an array. In Python list, we have this option to add different data types in just one list. So here is an example of list. List 1 is equals to apple, banana, cherry. This is how we can declare a list, and in order to print the list, we'll just pass this list function, this list in this list data type into print, and how we can get, and this is how we can get the output, that is apple, banana, and cherry. So these are the list methods of function, that is append, which adds an element at the end of the list. Clear removes all the elements from a list. Copy returns a copy of the list. Count returns the number of elements with a specified value. Extend add the numbers of a list or any iterable to the end of the current list. Index returns the index of the first element with a specified value. Insert adds an element at the specified position. We will give the position in our function. Pop removes the elements at the specified position. If not given, obviously it will remove the last element. Removes the item with the specified value. Reverses the order of the list, and sorts the list. So here we have the indexing in Python list. Indexing means to know where the elements exist. So here I have declared a list one, that is apple, banana, and cherry. In order to print it, we will pass the list function and its index. So I want to know the index of banana. So I want to know what element is at the index 1. So I'll print it and I'll get the output banana. In order, we can also have the negative indexes, but we will start from -1. But if we are talking about the positive indexes, it starts from 0, like apple is at 0, banana is at 1, and cherry is at 2. But in order to get the negative indexes, the cherry is at -1, banana is at -2, and apple is at -3. So we want to know that what element is at that index -1. So we'll print it and we'll get the answer cherry. We have the slicing in Python list. I have declared a list apple, banana, cherry, and mango, and we will slice the list from 1 to 3. So obviously our list is starting from 0, that is apple is at 0 index, banana is at 1, cherry is at 2, and mango is at 3. So I want the list from 1 to 3, so I will get banana and cherry. Why? Because it will exclude the third index, the element present at third index. It will give the 1 and 2. So it means that if we want the element from 1 to 2, 1 colon 2, if we write 1 colon 2, it will give us the element present at 1. It will not give the element present at 2. So similarly here, it will not give the element present at index 3, it will just give the element present at index 1 and 2. So obviously we will get banana and cherry in our output. So here's how we can change the item in Python list. I have declared a list that is apple, banana, cherry, and mango, and I want to change the element that present at index 2 to kiwi. So I will print it. So I will type it like list 1 and will pass the index, and I want to change the element present at index 2 to kiwi. So it will change it like apple is at index 0, banana is at index 1, and cherry is at index 2. So it will change the word or the item or the element cherry to kiwi. So this is how we can change the item in Python list, and output will be apple, banana, kiwi, and mango. So let's try out all the other methods in our PyCharm. So here I have opened my PyCharm and I have declared a list 1 that is equivalent to apple, banana, and cherry. So let's print this list. Let's run this. So here I have this list printed, that is apple, banana, and cherry. So let's remove this from comment and include this comment here. Okay, so here I am again declaring the same list again, and I am going to print the element present at index 1 and the element present at index -1. So here I have banana present at the element at the index 1, and here I have another element that is cherry present at index -1. So let's remove this 2 from the comment and include here. Okay, so here I'm going to slice this list from 1 to 3. So let's run this. So here I got banana and cherry, but I didn't get the mango. Here apple is at index 0, banana is at index 1, and cherry is at index 2, and mango is at index 3. If I'm slicing it from 1:3, so it will give banana and cherry only because they are at index 1, index 2, but it won't give the element present at index 3. It will exclude this last element. Okay, so let's remove this 2 from the comment. So let's run this. Here I am changing the element at present at index 2 to kiwi. So it will give the I didn't print the list. So let's print the list. So I get apple, banana, kiwi and mango, and this cherry is being replaced or changed with kiwi. Let's remove this comment here too. And so here I am going to check the index of the cherry, like at what index the word cherry is present, as it is present on index 0, 1, 2. So it is present on index 2. Let's run this. So here we get 2, the index where the cherry is present. So here I have written some more methods and functions in list. I have declared a list that is apple, banana, cherry, mango and cherry. So I have declared cherry twice. So in order to find out how many times this cherry is present in the list, we will say this list.count. So it will return the number of the times the cherry is present in the list. So let's run this. So it says 2. It means that cherry is present in the list twice. So let's change it to banana. So now it will tell us how many times banana is present in the list. So banana is present just only once in the list. So here I have declared a list one that is equivalent to some integer value, that is 361748, but it isn't in the sorted order. So in order to sort this list in ascending order, we will say list1.sort. So let's print this list one, and now it is sorted in ascending order. It is 1 3 4 6 7 8. So let's uncomment this. So if you want to reverse the list, so we'll use list1.reverse function, and let's print the list. So it will reverse this list like 847847163. So it will reverse this list into this by using this reverse function. Let's uncomment this. Okay, so if you want to remove all the elements, if you want to clear the list, and if you want to remove all the elements, you will use this function list1.clear. So let's run this. So here I have got none, or you can also have the empty list as well in using this list1.clear function. So now let's have a look at adding items to a list. So we can add items to a list using append and insert. Using append, we will say that list1 is equals to apple, banana, cherry and mango, and we want to add an item to the end of the list. By default, you will say list1.append, let's say orange, and let's print this, and the output will be apple, banana, cherry, mango and orange. So it will append this orange by default at the end of the list. Another method to add items in the Python list is using insert. By using this insert, you can actually tell the index at which, the exact index at which you want to add that particular element. So we'll say list1.insert 2, orange. So it will add this orange to a particular index, that is 2. So let's print this, and we'll get apple, banana, orange, cherry and mango. So we know that apple is at index 0, banana is at index 1 and cherry is at index 2. So before this cherry and after this banana, this orange will be inserted, and cherry, the index of cherry will be changed to 3. So let's try them out in our PyCharm. So here I have opened my PyCharm, and I have declared this list, that is apple, banana, cherry and mango. I want to add this orange. I want to append this orange at the end of the list. So I'll just say list1.append orange, and let's print this list. So let's run this program. So I get apple, banana, cherry, mango and orange. So see that orange is appended at the end of the list. But if I want to add this orange at a specific position, so I will have to use this function, that is insert, and I will tell at which index I want to add it, that is 2, and I will say what element I want to insert in this list. So let's run this. So see that this orange is now being inserted to the index 2, because I wanted to insert it to a particular index, to a specific index, that is 2. So now it has replaced this cherry and sent it to the index 3, and it has been now inserted to index 2. So let's talk about removing items from a list. So items can be removed using remove, del and pop. These are 3 functions that can be used to remove items from a Python list. So here I am using remove. So let's declare a list, that is apple, banana, cherry and mango, and we'll say that remove and the element. We'll pass the element in the remove. So list1.remove and the parameter, that is banana, the element, the string I want to remove. So we will print it, and we'll see that apple, banana and apple, cherry and mango, and the banana will be removed because of using the remove function. So another method that we can use is using del. So in order to remove the element from a particular index, we will use del list1 and that index. So I want to remove the element from index 0, that is apple, so we will say del list1 and the index will be 0. So out in the output we will get banana, cherry and mango, and see that apple is removed from the list. And the last method to remove the element from the list is using pop. The pop method removes the specified index or the last index item if index is not specified. So if we say that list1.pop3, so it will remove the element from the third index, that is 0, 1, 2, 3. So element mango is at index 3, so obviously we will see in the output that apple, banana and cherry, and the mango that is present at the index 3 is now being removed. If we want to specify the last item, that is that if we want to specify the index, it will remove the last item. Okay, so let's try them out in our PyCharm. So here I have declared a list that is apple, banana, cherry and mango, and I want to remove this banana from the list, so I will say list1.remove banana. So let's run this. So see that in the output, apple, banana and apple, cherry and mango are present and the banana is removed. So let's say if I want to delete an item from a particular index, so I will say del list1 0, 0 for apple, 1 for banana and 2 for cherry and 3 for mango. So I want to remove the element present at index 0, so I will say del list1 0. So we will print this list. So let's run this. So here the element present at index 0, that was apple, is now being removed, and now we only have the banana, cherry and mango. So if I want to remove an element from other proper lists, we will say that we will use the pop method, and I want to remove the element present at index 3 using the pop method. So let's run this. So now I had apple, banana and cherry and mango in the list, and now if I use the pop method, so now the mango that was present at index 3 is now removed. This is my output, that is apple, banana and cherry. So what are tuples in Python? A tuple is an immutable sequence of Python objects. Tuples are sequences just like list. The difference between tuples and list are the tuples cannot be changed. Unlike list, and tuples use parentheses, whereas a list uses square brackets. Okay. So here is an example of tuple. I have written the code tuple1 is equals to apple, banana, cherry and so here this is the parenthesis for tuples, and if you will print it, you will get the output as apple, banana and cherry. So these are the tuple methods and functions. You can create a tuple, you can find the index of the tuple, that is accessing of the elements, accessing the items, slicing of tuple, concatenations of two or multiple tuples, repetition of tuples, membership and comparison. Moreover, you can do these two functions with tuple. This is a count method which returns the number of times a specified value occurs in a tuple, and indexing searches the tuple for a specified value and returns the position of it where it is found. So let's have a look at all of them in our PyCharm. So here I have opened my PyCharm and I have declared a tuple, that is apple, banana, cherry and mango. So let's print this tuple. So here we get the output apple, banana, cherry and mango. So let's uncomment this. So here I have declared another tuple, and in order to find which element is present at this particular index, we'll pass this index into tuple. So here I have passed 2, so it will tell which element is present at index 2. So let's run this. Tuple also in tuple index also start from 0, so apple is at 0, banana is at 1 and cherry is at 2. So we get the output 2. Let's uncomment this. So here I have also declared another tuple, and we are doing slicing on the tuple from 1 to 3. So apple is present at 0, banana is present at 1, cherry is present at 2 and mango is present at 0. So in the tuple, the slicing is also done as in the list. So if you slice from 1 to 3, so it will give banana and cherry only, because it will exclude the element present at third index. So let's uncomment this. So here I have declared another tuple, tuple1, and another tuple, that is 3, 6, that is tuple2, and I am doing the concatenation of tuple1 and tuple2, that is adding both of these tuples. So it will generate a new tuple, and the answer will be this: apple, banana, cherry, mango and 3, 6. If you want to replicate them or multiply them, you can also do it by multiplying with a number. So I have declared a tuple, that is tuple 2 is equals to strawberry, and I'm multiplying it 3 times. So let's run this. So I have got strawberry 3 times. So here I have another tuple, that is apple, banana, cherry and mango, and we will check if the cherry is present in tuple 1 and if strawberry is present in tuple 2, that is membership. So true and false, that is cherry is present in tuple 1, that is true, and strawberry is present in tuple 1, that is false. So here we are comparing two tuples. I have declared tuple 1 is equals to 1 2 3 and tuple 2 is equals to 1 2 3, and we are printing if both of these tuples are equal. We are comparing both of these tuples, so it answers true because both of these are true. Both of these are equal. If I say that they are not equal, it will turn false because they are both equal. So here I have declared another tuple, that is 1 3 7 8 7 5 4 6 8 5. So I'm checking here how many times this 5 is present in this tuple. So I'll pass it in the function, that is count function. So it will count how many times this 5 is present in this tuple. So let's run this. So here I've got 2 because it is present 2 times. Here is 1 and here is the second time. Here I have another example of tuple. Here I am finding the index of mango, at which index the word mango is present. So it's 0 for apple, banana for 1, cherry for 2 and mango for 3. So let's see. So here I've got 3 because this mango is present at index 3. But as we know that tuples are non-changeable, we can't change the values of tuples. So if I want to change the value present at index 2 from this cherry to kiwi, it will throw me an error, that is tuple object does not support item assignment. You can't change the values of tuple. So let's remove this, and here I have the last example. Okay, in this print statement after the tuple, you can press this dot and you will get all the methods applicable for tuples. So first of all, let's see what are sets. A set is a collection which is unordered and unindexed. In Python, sets are written with curly brackets. So here is an example of sets. Here I have declared a set 1, which is equivalent to this curly braces 1 3 7 8 7 5 4 6 8 5. And if I print this set 1, the output which I will get is 1 3 4 5 6 7 8. So it will remove the multiple occurrences of a particular element. Moreover, it will order the set. So here I have the set methods and functions. First of all, we have the add method that adds an element to the set. We have the clear method that removes all the elements from the set. We have the copy, which returns a copy of the set. Discard removes the specified element. Pop removes the element from the set, and if index is not given, then obviously it will remove the last element. Remove removes the specified element. Union returns a set containing of union of sets, and update the set with the union of the set and others. So let's have a look at all of them in our PyCharm. So here I have opened my PyCharm and I have declared this set, that is 1 3 7 8 7 5 4 6 8 5. And now let's run this, and there you can see that it will remove the multiple occurrences as well as it will order the set, and it is declared denoted by this curly braces. So if you want to find the index of a particular element, if you want to find at what element is present at this particular index, then let's run this. So it will say that the set object is unscriptable, so you cannot find the element present at a particular index because of it is unordered. So you can't find the element present at a particular index. So here, let's remove this because it will throw errors later. So here I have declared another set that is the same set, and I'm passing this set in a for loop. We will discuss the for loop later, and I'm printing the set in order to get the values of the set. So here I have got all the values of the set, but if you want these all values in a same line, you can pass the AND here, and in this I will pass the gap in order to get the gap between the elements. If I remove this gap, then I will get all the elements together. So let's have a gap here. So here I've got all the elements present in the set by using this for loop. So if I want to add element in the set, I'll pass that element in with the function add. So let's run this. So here I've got this element. Because of this AND, it is concatenated on the same line. So let's print \n here so that we can get the next line, new line. So let's run this. So here I've got the new line, and I've added this orange in the set. So I've got the apple, cherry, orange and banana. Because it is a set, so it will add this element at any index. It won't add the element at a particular index. It won't add the element in the AND. It will add the element at any index. So we can also use this update method in order to add the elements in our set, but we will pass this in the form of a list in the update method. So here I've got this set in the end, and of course it is unordered and unindexed. If you want to find the length of the set, we'll pass it in the length function. So here I had this set that is apple, banana and cherry, and of course its length is 3, so I've got 3 here. If you want to remove a particular element from a set, we will pass it in this remove function. I want to remove this banana from the set. So here I've got cherry and apple because banana is removed. You can also use the discard method to remove the elements. So I have also used here the discard method. I also want to remove the banana. Let's change it to apple. Let's run this. So here I've got cherry and banana because I have discarded the apple. So another method to remove the elements from the set is using the pop method, but as the sets are unordered, so when using the pop method, you will not know which item gets removed. So let's run this. So I've got a cherry because the element that was removed is cherry here. Because I have printed which element I want to remove. That is, I have assigned that element to X and I have printed that element here. You can also clear the entire set by passing it in the clear method. So I've got the empty set here because I have cleared all the elements of the set. I can also delete the set, but it will throw errors. Let's run this. So I have deleted this set one, and now as the set was deleted, so it is saying that name set1 is not defined. So let's remove this as it will throw errors later. So here I have declared a set A that is A, B and C, and set B that is 1, 2, 3. In order to concatenate them, I will pass the set B in the union function, set A dot union set B, and will assign it to set C, and let's print the set C. So here I have got the entire set that is 1, A, 2, 3 and B and C. We can also update the set using the update method by passing this set2 in the update method. So let's run this. It will also concatenate both of these sets. So I have got the output. First of all, let's say what are loops in Python. A loop in a computer program is an instruction that repeats until a specified condition is reached. Like, let's suppose if you are listening to a music and you want to repeat it multiple times, so then you will apply the loop there. A computer programmer who needs to use the same lines of code many times in a program can use a loop to save time. And these are the types of loops. There are two types of loops in Python. There is a for loop and the while loop. So let's have a look at the for loop in Python. A for loop is used for iterating over a sequence that is either a list, a tuple, a dictionary, a set, or a string. With the for loop, we can execute a set of statements once for each item in a list, tuple, etc. So this is the syntax, basic syntax for the for loop in Python. First of all, I have the for here. We'll pass the value in it, like I, j, k, anything in it, in the sequence, and then we will run multiple statements. And there is an example of for loop that is for x in range 10. Here I have used a function that is range. We will discuss it later, and it will print hello world. So here I am saying the value here is x and the sequence here is the range 10. So it will run this hello world 10 times. So I have said that range 10, so it means that it will run the loop less than 10, means from 0 to 9, but 10 times obviously. So here is a block diagram for the for loop. It will check for the condition if the last item, if it is the last item in the sequence. If it is not the last item in the sequence, it will run the body of the loop unless and until the last item is reached. If the last item is true, then it will exit the loop. So let's have a look at the for loop in our PyCharm. So here I have opened my PyCharm and I have declared here for x in range 10 print Undergrad Academy. So to loop through a set of code in a specified number of times, we use the range function. Okay, the range function returns a sequence of numbers starting from 0 by default and incrementing by 1 by default, and adds at a specified number. So let's run this. So I've got this Undergrad Academy 10 times. If you count it, it will be 10 times. So here I have declared for x in range 10 print x. So it will print the numbers here from 1 to 10. So here I have got the output from 0 to 9. But what if I want to print these numbers from a specified initial point to a specified ending point? Then I will use this for this type of for loop, where I have declared that it will start the loop from 2 and it will end the loop at 6. It means that it will print the numbers starting from 2 and ending at 6. Obviously it will not include the 6. So I have got this 2, 3, 4 and 5, and I can also change the increment as it increments by 1 by default. I can, if I want to increment it by 2, I will add a 2 here. Let's run this. So here I've got this 2, 4. It will increment it by 2. So let's remove this. So here I have declared a vehicle list, that is cars, motorbikes, buses, helicopters, airplanes and bicycles. I can pass this vehicle list into the for loop. For I in vehicle list, print I. So it will print all these elements inside this vehicle list. So I've got all the elements present in this vehicle list. If I want to convert this vehicle list into a set, I can pass it into this set function. Like it happens a lot of time that we want to remove the same elements from a list, so we pass it into a set. So let's suppose that if I will change it to, like, if I declare buses twice, and if I will convert it into a set, so it will remove the multiple occurrences. It will just print this bus one time. So I have passed it into this vehicle set, and I've converted this vehicle list into this set by passing it into this set function, and I pass this vehicle set into the for loop. Let's run this. So I've got the output, and see that buses is not repeated. So if you want to remove the multiple occurrences into a list, you will first convert that list into a set, and then you can convert that set back to a list if you want it into a list form. So here I have declared another complex example. I have declared a list one, that is Ford, Mustang, Audi, Toyota, Honda and Ferrari, and I'm passing it into the for loop, and if I'm checking if the value is Audi, it will print this one is Audi, and if it is not Audi, it will print not Audi. Let's run this. So here I've got not Audi for both Ford and Mustang, and I've got this one is Audi for this Audi, and I've got not Audi for Toyota, Honda, Ferrari. If I want to break it, if I found that this one is Audi and I want to break the loop, I will say break. So here I've got this. I haven't got not Audi for Toyota, Honda and Ferrari. I have an example for the nested loops. I have declared ADJ, that is red, big, and tasty, and I have another list that is fruits, apple, banana, and cherry. I'm passing it into a for loop for x in adj and for y in fruits, print x comma y. So here, when it runs the loop for x in adj, it will have the value red. Okay, it will have the value red, and then it will come to this line. It will say that for y in fruit, it will have the value apple. So it will print x comma y, that is red, because the value of x right now is red, and y is apple, so it will print red apple. After that, it will print red banana. After that, it will print red cherry. And as soon as this fruit list is over, this loop, it will come out of this loop. It will go back to this loop, and it will change the value of this red to big. It will then say big apple, big banana, big cherry, and after that, tasty apple, tasty banana, and tasty cherry. Let's run this. So I have got red apple, red banana, red cherry, big apple, big banana, big cherry, tasty apple, tasty banana, and tasty cherry. So what is the while loop in Python? In Python, while loops is used to execute a block of statements repeatedly until a given condition is satisfied. So the for loop and the while loop are quite similar, but the main difference between the for loop and the while loop is that in for loop, we don't have to do the object initialization. We don't have to initialize the object first. Whereas in while loop, we have to initialize the object and increment it at the end. So here is the basic syntax of the while loop. First of all, we have to do the object initialization. Then we will run the while loop up to a specified number, and there's a colon after it. And then the while loop will run no matter how many statements it has. So the statement inside the while loop will be executed, and after that, we have to increment the loop. So here's the example code for while loop. First of all, we have initialized I is equals to 1 and while I is less than 6. So we will run this loop while the value of I is less than 6, and we will print I, and after that we will increment I with 1. So the output will be 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Because we are running this loop less than 6, so it will have the output less than 6, that is 5. So let's try them out in our PyCharm. So here I have opened my PyCharm, and I have declared I is equals to 1 while I is less than 6, print I, and increment the I with 1. So let's run this. So here I have got the output. Please watch the video till the end because I have a little more advanced example of while loop in the end. So here I have declared I is equals to 1 and doing the same, printing the I, and I'm checking if I is equals to 3. Like if I reaches the 3, it will break the loop while it will increment it. Like if I reaches the 3, it will break the loop and it will just come out of loop. Unless and until I reaches a 3, it will increment the loop. So let's run this. So this is the output, that is 1, 2, 3, that is where while the I is less than 3, it runs the loop, and as soon as it reaches the 3, it will end the loop. So let's remove this. So here again, I have declared I is equals to 0 while I is less than 6, I plus is equals to 1. But if I is equals to 3, continue the loop. It means that it will not print the 3, and it will continue the loop when it reaches the 3, and it will print the I unless and until it is 3. But it will not print the 3, it will print all the other values because of this continue statement. So let's run this. So here I've got the output 1, 2, 4, 5, 6. I haven't got the 3 because when I reaches the 3, it continued the loop. It hasn't done anything with that 3. It just iterated the value into the while loop and just left the 3. So here I have a little advanced example of the while loop. I have declared a list of cars, that is Ford, Mustang, Audi, Toyota, and Honda, and I'm checking if check, and I'm declaring that check is equals to Audi and keep is equals to true. So I'm running this loop while keep is equals to true, when while is still true. Like I have declared this keep is equals to true. As soon as it tends to fall, it will run out of the loop. So while keep is equals to true, I will take the user input, enter the name of the car, or press Q to quit. If the user haven't pressed Q, if the user input I'm taking the input obviously here, and if the user input is not equal to q, unless and until the user input is not equal to q, it will run through the loop for I in cars. It will run through the car list, and it will check if the user has pressed this check that is Audi, if the user input is Audi. And as soon as the user input is Audi, it will print it is the best car, and it will break out the loop. It won't do anything for the other Ford, Mustang, Toyota and Honda. Only if enters, the user enters the Audi, it will print it is the best car. Else if the user enters Q, that is quit, it will come out the loop, and it will make this keep is equals to false. So obviously if keep is equals to false, the while loop won't run. So let's run this. So enter the car, name of the car. I'll press Q to quit. So I'm entering Toyota. So it has done nothing. It is just running the loop unless and until the keep is equals to true. It is not doing anything. As soon as I print, or as soon as I type the word Audi, it will say it is the best car. Let's try out for Ford. It hasn't done anything for Ford. It is just doing this. It is the best car for Audi, because I have declared that if user input, that is user input, the name of the car is equal to check, that is Audi, it will print it is the best car, else it won't do anything. And as soon as the user type Q, it will run out of the loop. In Python, we also have the for else loop. You might have not heard about it in any other programming languages because they are not there, but in Python, we do have the for else loop as well as the while else loop. So let's try them out in our PyCharm. So here I have opened my PyCharm and I have declared for I in range 10. So it will run the loop unless and until the condition is reached, that is range 10, that is less than 9. And it will print I. Obviously this I is what? This range, that is 1, 2, 3, 0, 1, 2, 3, obviously starting from 0, because in range it automatically by default starts from 0. But this is the new thing, that is for else with a for. Usually we have seen else with the if, we haven't seen it with for. But in Python we have the for else. So in this else statement I have said that print the statement that is I is no longer in the range of 10. So it will run the loop, that is this for loop, and as soon as this loop is over, as soon as the condition becomes false, it will print this statement, and I won't get the error because I don't have any if here, but still I won't get the error because we do have a for else statement in Python. So here I've got this, I've got 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and here I have also got this I is no longer in the range of 10. So it means that we do have the for else loop in Python. And we also have the while else loop in Python. So for sure we have declared this I is equals to 1 because we do have to declare the object. We have to declare the object first, and after that we can run the loop. So I have declared I is equals to 1. We have to do the initialization first, and then I'm running the loop unless and until the condition is, that is I is less than 6, and I'm printing the I and obviously incrementing it because it is the basic syntax of while loop. If you haven't seen my for loop and while loop videos, I will give the link up here. And I'm also printing this else statement with this while. The print I is no longer less than 6. Let's run this. So here I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I is no longer less than 6. So we do have this while else loop in Python. So what are dictionaries in Python? A Python dictionary is a mapping of unique key to values, and they are mutable and they can be changed. We have heard about the list, tuples, and sets. I have made the videos of them as well, and I will give the link here. So in lists, tuples, and sets, we just have the values. We can just declare the values. We can just have the values in list, set, and tuples. But in dictionaries, we can assign these values to some keys. That is, in dictionaries, we do have keys as well as values. So here I have the basic syntax of dictionaries in Python. First of all, we will declare the dictionary name, then we will have is equals to, and then we will start our parentheses, and I can declare the item key, colon, item value, and we have to have this comma here because if we want to get some more, if we want to put some more keys and values, we have to declare this comma, else it will throw errors. So I'm just pressing item key colon item value comma item key colon item value, and obviously no comma here because I'm just ending the dictionary and then closing the parentheses. So here's the example code of dictionaries in Python. I have declared the dictionary as customer. The dictionary name is customer is equals to parentheses open. The item key here is first name colon David is the item value. Then comma here, last name is the item key colon Elliot is the item value, comma, address, colon, 4803 Wellesley Street. I'm sorry if I pronounce it wrong. And I'm closing the parentheses here. And then I'm printing the dictionary. There is how you can print the dictionary, just simply passing the dictionary name in the print function. And you will get the output like this in the end. At the bottom, that is first name, colon, David, comma, last name, colon, Elliot, comma, address, and that is it. So let's try them out in our PyCharm. So here I have opened my PyCharm and I have declared the dictionary name, that is customer, is equals to parentheses open, first name, that is the item key, then the colon, then the item value, that is David. And in order to declare more values and more item keys, we do have to type this comma here. Last name, Elliot, and address, and parentheses closed. Then we are printing the customer. This is how we can print the dictionary. Let's run this. So here I've got the output, that is our dictionary is printed here. What if I want to add another item key and value in the dictionary? We can just simply say that customer, then we have to make it these square brackets, and we can pass the item key in it, that is city here, and we can have this we can have this item value, that is Toronto. Let's print this. So here I've got the output. I've got the first name, last name, address, and I've also got the city because I have added another item key and value in it. We can also delete some of the item keys and values from our dictionary by typing this del keyword, customer, and whatever you want to delete. I want to delete the last name of this customer, so I'll just pass this last name into this customer, and I'm printing this customer dictionary. Let's run this. So I've got first name, I haven't got the last name, I've got address, and I've got the city. I can also delete it using the pop. So I want to pop, that is delete this address. Let's run this. So I've got the first name and city because in here I have already deleted the last name, and now I have deleted the address as well. So what if I want to completely clear the dictionary? I'll just pass this clear function, customer.clear, and print the customer dictionary. Let's run this. So I've got the empty dictionary here. So let's remove this all. So here I have again declared this customer dictionary. I can also get the values using this get function. I just have declared this dictionary here, and I'm printing the customer.get first name. I'm just printing the first name of the customer. So I've got the David. It's the first name of this customer. Let's remove this statement. I can get the values as well. Like if I want to get the values of the dictionary, I can just pass it into the for loop. I will say that for I, it can be anything here, I, J, K, L, anything. In customer.values, it is a function in our dictionaries, that is customer.values, and I'm printing the I. So let's run this. So I have got the values of the dictionary, that is David, Elliot, and this address. I can also get the keys by having this function customer.keys. Let's run this. So I've got the keys here, that is first name, last name, and address. I can have both at the same time too. Like this, for I, J, I'm passing two values here. In customer.items, with this item function, we can have both, that is the keys and the values at the same time. And I'm printing I plus, that is concatenating the colon here, like this colon, and then concatenating the J, that is the values. So I have got this here, first name David, last name Elliot, address is 4803 Wellesley Street. So what are functions in Python? A function is a set of statements that take inputs, do some specific computation, and produces output. Python provides built-in functions like print, input, etc., but we can also create our own functions. These functions are called user-defined functions. A function is a block of code which only runs when it is called. So if you don't call a function, it won't run. You can pass data known as parameters into a function. A function can return data as a result. So you can have a function which doesn't return data and prints the data in itself, and you can also have a function which can return the data. So here's the basic syntax of the function. First, we define a function using the def keyword like this. Def function name, it can be anything here, parentheses and a colon. The statements to run inside a function, it can be multiple statements, and after all of this definition of function, defining a function, we will declare the function. We will call the function by calling its name, like function name and just the parentheses. So here's example code for functions. I have declared a function def my function colon, a parentheses and colon, then I'm printing hello Undergrad Academy, and then without any kind of indentation I am calling my function and I'm getting the output hello Undergrad Academy. So if you want to run multiple statements or any number of statements or a single statement into a function, you have to indent it, and the normal indentation is of 4 spaces or 1 tab. So if you indent that statement, it means that it will run, that statement will run inside that function. Okay, so obviously when calling the function I will not indent it, else it will be served as a part of that definition of a function. Okay, so here's an example code for function with arguments. You can also pass your arguments inside a function. So I have declared my function def my function, and I'm passing a parameter name inside the parentheses, and I'm printing hello and the name, and in my calling the function I am passing this Undergrad Academy. So here this Undergrad Academy will be served as the value for the name. Okay, it will be served as the value of name. So it means that when I am calling this function, I am actually passing this Undergrad Academy, which will be assigned to name, and then I will be printing hello and name. So I will get the output hello Undergrad Academy. So let's try out some examples for functions in our PyCharm. So here I have opened my PyCharm and I have declared this function by using this def keyword. I am defining the function def and my function name is greet, and I'm passing this parameter, that is name, and inside this function I am printing this hello plus name and good morning. And here I am calling this function. The function name is greet and these parentheses and this Undergrad Academy. So this Undergrad Academy will be served as a value for this name. Okay, so when I call this function, it will pass this Undergrad Academy to this name, and it will assign this value, that is Undergrad Academy, to this name. And when I'm printing it, so obviously it will print Undergrad Academy instead of this name. So let's run this. So here I've got the output hello Undergrad Academy, good morning. Let's remove this and comment this. Okay, so here again I have declared my function, defined my function using the def keyword. My function name is addition, and I'm passing 2 parameters, para1 and para2, and I'm printing the sum, that is the sum is para1 plus para2, and I'm calling this function addition and passing value of parameter 1, that is para1 value is 4 and para2 value is 8. So this 4 will be assigned to this para1 and this 8 will be assigned to this para2. Okay, and here I'm adding both of these and I'm printing the sum of both of these. So let's run this. So I've got the output, the sum is 12. So here again I have the same function defining the function addition, passing parameter 1 and parameter 2, and I am returning the value. Instead of printing the value inside this function, I am actually returning it and I am printing here. So here I am calling this function and passing this 17. So this 17 will be served as a value for this para1. This 8 will be served as a value for this para2. So it will add both of these and will return the addition of it. It will return the addition. So when it will return that addition, the value, the sum of both of these numbers will be equal, will come here, and I am assigning that value to this variable sum. And here I am printing the sum is and sum. Okay, let's run this. So here I've got the output, the sum is 25. So it will pass these values to this para1 and para2, and then it will return the sum and will assign that sum, that value, to this variable sum, and it will print it here. So instead of printing this value inside this function, I am actually returning the value for which these functions are made. The actual and the main purpose of these functions is to return these values. So here I have declared define function greetings, name1, name2, and again here I am printing simply the name1 and name2. But they have another way of passing these values. I can actually say name1 is equals to undergrad, name2 is equals to academic. So it will say that, so it will just by default it will say that this name1 is equivalent to this name1, this name2 will become equivalent to this name2. So by default, automatically it will take the value undergrad to this name1 and academy to this name2. Let's run this. So here I've got the output, hello undergrad academy, good morning. So this is the another way of calling the functions. Okay. But what if I want to send multiple variables, multiple parameters, and sometimes I'm not sure how many parameters I have. Okay, so I can say that this is my function name, parameter 1, parameter 2, and here is something different. I'm sending some other info and I'm having this 2 stars or 2 asterisks here. Why 2 asterisks? These 2 asterisks will make this other info equal to some extra information, because I'm passing this name1. I'm passing this name1 as this undergrad, name2 as this academic. Okay, so name1 is undergrad and name2 is academic, and this other info, that is platform is YouTube channel and number of videos many, will become equal to this other info. And so if you have multiple variables and you are not sure how many variables you have and how many parameters you want to pass, then you can just simply add 2 asterisks before the variable or the parameter name. So I'm printing the name is name1 and name2, so it will simply print undergrad academy. And here I'm saying for key, I'm actually making it a dictionary. If you haven't watched my dictionary tutorial, I will give the link on the top. So I'm making it a dictionary. So I'm saying for key and value in other info dot items. So this other info dot items, print key, it will print the key, and the key will be this. Okay, this platform will be the key, this number of videos will be the key, and colon here, and the value. So this YouTube channel will become the value, and many here will become the value. Okay, so let's run this. So here I've got the output. The name is Undergrad Academy for this print statement, and platform, YouTube channel, and number of videos many for this dictionary thing. Okay, so if you are not sure how many parameters you have to send then you can add two asterisks here. In fact, you can also add a single asterisk. Okay. Here in this example, I have added a single asterisk. So I'm sending first number will be equal to this 100. Second number will be equal to this 200. And this is the optional numbers. Okay, this is the optional number. So this optional numbers will be equal to this 300, 400, and 500. And when I will call this parameter and I will send all of these values. Okay, when I'll call this function and I'll send all of these parameters into this function. So it will assign this 100 to first number, 200 to second number, and all of these values to this optional numbers, and it will make a tuple of it. Okay, and I'm printing here all of these values. Let's run this. So here I've got 100 for first number, 200 for second number, and these optional numbers are displayed as a tuple. Okay. So what is exception handling in Python? When an error occurs, or exception as we call it, Python will normally stop and generate an error message. These exceptions can be handled using the try statement. Difference between error and exception. Errors cannot be handled, while Python exceptions can be handled at the runtime. An error can be a syntax error, while there can be many types of exceptions that could occur during the execution and are not unconditionally inoperable. An error might indicate critical problems that a reasonable application should not try to catch, while an exception might indicate conditions that an application should try to catch. So before looking at the exception handling, let's discuss some of the main errors in Python. So here I have some examples of errors in Python. I have declared print hello world, and I am missing the closing parenthesis of this print statement. So let's run this. So here I've got the syntax error, an expected EOF while parsing. Okay, so let's remove this. So here again I'm making a mistake in this print. I'm printing hello world. Let's run this. So it can have the syntax error as well as this name error, that is name lit n is not defined. And the last form of, actually there are so many errors, so many types of errors, but I'm just giving you an overview of what are errors in Python. So here I have print 5 divided by 0, so it will give the division by 0 error, that is the division by 0 division error. Okay, so here we have the basic syntax of exception handling in Python. We'll first of all have the try, and if it will, in try statement we have first of all have the try block, and it will run this code except execute this code when there is an exception. So it won't try, if it will first try the block, and if there is an exception it will run the except block, else no exception, run this code, and finally always run this code. Okay, so it will first of all try the try command. It will first of all run the try command, and if it is okay it will run that code. But if there is an error, then it will run the except code, and if there are no exceptions then it will run the else code. And finally this finally block will run no matter what. If there is an exception or there is no exception, this finally block will run no matter what. So let's have a look at all of them in our PyCharm. So here I have opened my PyCharm and I have declared this try statement, and in this try block I am printing x, and I'm saying except print an exception has occurred. So here I have this x, I'm printing this x, whereas I have not declared the value of x. So let's run this. So I've got an exception occurred. So it is saying that this try block failed to run, and therefore it ran this except block. Okay, it ran this except block in which I have this expression, that is an exception occurred. I'm printing an exception occurred. So if I want to see what was an exception, what was the exception, so I can say it like this. I can say print try print x except exception as e, an exception occurred e. So here, because of this e, it will pass that exception into this e, it will assign that exception into this e, and here I'm printing this e. Let's run this. So it said an exception occurred. Name X is not defined. So here we have the name error or the syntax error. So here I have some other examples of exception. If we have multiple exceptions, here I have try print X, except name error, variable X is not defined. And if we have more errors, okay, if we have more errors, it will say that something else went wrong. But here we just have this a single error, that is variable X is not defined, so it will just give this in the output. But if in case we have more errors than this, then it will say this except print. It means that we can run multiple except blocks in one Python script. If I want to include this else statement in Python, okay, so here I'm saying try print hello, except print something went wrong, else nothing went wrong. Okay, so what happens here is that it will first of all try to run this command, try to run this block, that is print hello, and it will just simply run it because there is no exception. So it won't run this except block, and after this try statement it will run this else block, that nothing went wrong. So we have hello as well as nothing went wrong. It means that if the try block is okay and if there is no exception, then it will run this else block. So let's include the finally also. So I have try printing X, except something went wrong, and finally print the try except is finished. Okay, so what happens is that it will first try to run this command, this block, try block, and it will if there is an exception, then obviously it will run this block. But what happens is that if we have declared this finally here, it will run this finally no matter what, if there is an exception or if there is no exception, this finally block will run. Okay, so here we have something went wrong because obviously this X is not defined and the try except is finished. So it will run this finally block no matter what. So I have all of these four: try, print X, except something went wrong, else nothing is wrong, and finally print the try except is finished. So here I have the error, I have the exception here. So it will first of all try this block, it will first of all run this try block, as obviously I have the exception, so it will run this except block, that is something went wrong, and obviously the try statement has failed to run, therefore it won't run this else statement, and finally will run no matter what. So I've got the output something went wrong and the try except is finished. So we can raise the exception ourselves. Here I have declared X is equals to -1. If X is less than 0, raise the exception, sorry, no numbers below 0. If we want to raise the exception ourselves, we can raise the exception using this raise keyword. Let's run this. So I've got this exception, sorry, no number below 0. Okay, so I've declared X is equals to hello. If not type X is integer, raise type error, only integers are allowed. So it will check, first of all, with this if statement, it will check that if X is integer or not. And here obviously this hello is a string, it is not an integer, so it will raise this error that only integers are allowed. Okay, so I've got the type error, only integers are allowed. I'm saying that erase this type error, okay, and we're saying if not type of X is integer. If the type of X is not integer, obviously here is it is string, so it will raise this type error. So I have more complex type of try statement block. So I have that try A input enter number 1, input enter number 2, and I'm dividing C, that is A upon B, and I'm printing the C. And except value error, if I have a wrong value, it will say invalid value. If I have the exception 0 division error, it will print the 0 division error. Finally it will say bye bye. So let's run this. So enter number 1, I have 5, and if I say V, so it says invalid value because of invalid input. Let's say 4 divided by 2, so it says no exception, is just print this C DA divided by B. And if I say enter 5 divided by 0, so it says division by 0 error. So what is file handling in Python? File handling allows users to handle files, that is, to read and write files, along with many other file handling options to operate on files. Types of files in Python, there are three types of files in Python: .txt file, .csv file, and .json files. We will discuss the .txt and .csv in this episode, but we will discuss this .json in the next episode. So let's discuss the .txt and .csv. So here I have opened my PyCharm. So let's start writing our code for the .txt file with open read.txt, w as file file dot write hello Undergrad Academy. So this with will tell the Python interpreter that you have to close this file after writing the document, and it will create this read.txt file. If it is not already present, it will create it, and then by using this function call, that is w, by using this keyword, it will write this, it will open this file as file, and I've declared it file dot write this hello Undergrad Academy. So here it will open the file, and if it is not present, it will create it. And by this line of code, it will write this hello Undergrad Academy into that file. So let's run this. So here I've got no errors, but here my file, that is greet.txt, has been created. So I've got hello Undergrad Academy. So what if I want to read the file? What if I want to read the whatever is present in this file? So instead of this w, I'll say r, and I will remove this file.read, but I will declare a variable here to which I'll assign this file.read. And after that, I will print this message. Let's run this. So here this hello Undergrad Academy has been printed. I've opened the file for reading as it is read only, and after that I've declared this file.read. I've assigned this file.read to this message, and I've printed this message. What if I want to append the file? Like I have the file greet.txt and I have hello Undergrad Academy in it. But if I want to write something else in that file, let's do it. File.write. Okay. So let's run this. And let's open our read.txt. So here I've got hey, but where is my hello Undergrad Academy? Because of this w, that hello Undergrad Academy will be removed. So because of this w, the data that was present before will be removed, as it will override the data. This w will override the data. So if I want to append it, I will say a instead of w, and then I'll say file.write hey Undergrad Academy, because the previous hey is still present there. So let's run this. Got no errors. Let's open the greet.txt. So I have got hey Undergrad Academy. So this is how we can perform read, write, and append operations on our .txt file. So now let's discuss the .csv files. CSV stands for comma separated values. Here I have a file of .csv, mybook.csv. And in this file, in .csv file, we have this comma separated values. We have values and it is separated by a comma. That's why we call it a comma separated value. Okay, so here I have already made this file. So first of all, let's read it. Let's write a code to read this file. So first of all, import CSV module. You need to download it if it is not downloaded. With open. Again, we are telling the Python interpreter to close this file after we are done with reading or writing. My book.csv, comma, Doesn't matter if you write this R or not, because it will, no matter if you write it or not, Python interpreter will know that you need to read this file as C data is equals to csv dot reader, and we'll pass the C here. So do you remember that we in the .txt file we just said f.read, but here we have to call this module, this csv module dot, the function in that module is reader, and pass this C. We are opening this file as C. Okay, and let's make an array of it, list of data, because obviously it's a comma separated file, it has comma separated values, so it can't appear just like in a single way. We have to make it an array or some type of data set in order to preserve it. List of data is equals to array, empty array, and let's pass into the for loop for each line in data. List of data, append this plus is equals to each line. So what happens here is that I'm just opening the file, and then I'm assigning this, whatever present in that CSV file, I'm assigning it to data, and I'm declaring an empty array, and I'm passing that array for each line. It can be as like I, instead of I, I'm just saying each line in data. It means this data. Okay, this data, csv.reader data, and then I am appending it to list of data, and in the end let's print it, print list of data. So let's run this. So here I've got this, the entire data present in .csv file in the form of an array, because I have declared here it in the form of an array. But what if I want to find the index of a particular item? So let's open our file. Here I've got this. This is our file, mybook.csv, and let's say that I want to find the index of this 2006. So let's go to file, and let's say print list of data dot index of 2006. Let's run this. So I've got 9 here. Let's go here. Year is at 0, event 1, winner 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So this is all 6 is present at 9, because no matter if it is a list, if it is a tuple, dictionary, or set, the index starts from 0. So now let's see how to write the data, how to load information into a CSV file. We'll start again with open. Let's say data.csv. I'm making a new file here, comma write w, and a new line. This is important, as f data is equals to csv dot writer f and delimiter. Here this delimiter says that separate the data with this comma here, so it can become a comma separated value. I'll say data dot write row in the form of an array, year, comma event, comma winner. So let's run this. So I've got no errors, and let's see the file. So here we got the data.csv, and here we got year, event, and winner. So in this way we can read and write data into CSV files. So what is a JSON file in Python? JSON stands for JavaScript Object Notation, and it is used to store data in the form of list or a dictionary. In .txt files, we store data in the form of strings, and in .csv, we store data in the form of comma separated values, that is an Excel file. But what if I want to store data in the form of a list or a dictionary? Then we will use JSON files. So let's go to a PyCharm and discuss JSON files. So here I have opened my PyCharm. So let's write a code to store a list in our txt files. So first of all, let's declare a variable alphabets and make it equal to a list A, B, C. Again, with open. Name of the file, you can give any name. I'm giving hello.txt, comma W, used for writing the files as F, and f.write alphabets. So let's run this. So here I've got the error, write argument must be a string, not list. So in order to store this list, we need JSON files. So first of all, let's import the JSON, import JSON, and remove this .txt to JSON, and this f to JSON, and this write to dump. Dump is used for writing the data. So we'll pass this alphabets, whatever we want to store, and f, our file name. So let's run this. So I've got no errors, and our file, that is hello.json, is created. Here you go. So now let's see how to retrieve data from our JSON files. So first of all, we will remove this W as we did in our .txt and .csv files. And again, we will declare a variable called data, or anything you can declare, any variable you can take, JSON.load, and in this load, I'll pass my F. And in the end, let's print the data. So I've got this A, B, and C, whatever data was present in our list. So now let's see how to store a dictionary in our JSON file. So let's declare a variable, a dictionary person, his first name, let's say David, last name, Elliot, and his address. So now let's store this dictionary into our JSON file. First of all, let's say with open, let's say person.json, comma W for writing as F. I'm taking this F, and you can take anything instead of it. JSON.dump in order to store our file, and we'll pass our person, the data we want to store, and F. So let's run this. So we got no errors, and let's see. Here, this is person.js, our data is stored. So now let's retrieve the data, remove this W, declare a variable data, is equals to JSON.load F, and let's print the data. So let's run this. So here we've got our dictionary, which we previously stored in our person.json file. So if I want to find a particular data, let's suppose I want to find that last name of the person. So we'll say person last name. So let's run this. So we have got this Elliot, the last name of the person. And we will start by importing the PyQR module, PyQR code, and we'll declare a variable QR is equals to pi QR code dot create, and you can pass any value in it. I'm passing hello world in it, so it will generate a QR code based on hello world. So if you were scan it through your mobile phones, it will give hello world. QR.png. I'm making a PNG file of it. New.png, comma scale is equals to 7. So let's run this. So here I have got no errors. So let's go to our folder, and here I have this new.png. The QR code is being generated. So you will have to download two files for it, that is pi QR code and PNG, in order to import this pi QR code module and run this code. I will start by declaring an integer number, and I will take an input. So this is how we take an input. We'll declare this input function, and in order to convert it into an integer, because I am taking it in the form of integer, in the form of number, so I will convert it in the form of integer by declaring it like this, and I'll say that enter a number, and I will check if number is greater than 1, because obviously we don't have prime numbers below 1. We can't have prime number. We can't have 0 as a prime number. We can't have negative numbers as prime number. I will run a for loop for I in range 2, comma number, because we are starting from 1, and obviously 1 is a prime number, and so we will start from 2. We'll say that if number %I is equals to 0. It means that if the number, that is, we want to check if it is prime or not, with divide by I, that is the for loop, is equal to 0, then it will not be a prime number. Not a prime number. And we will break the loop so that it doesn't run further. And in the else block, I'll say that it's a prime number. Moreover, I will declare an else for this if, because if the number is less than 0, then obviously I'll say that we can't check for zeros and negatives. So let's run this. So here let's type a number, let's say 3. So it says that it's a prime number. So let's run this again, and let's type 6. So it's not a prime number. So here I have opened my PyCharm. So first let's see what is a factorial. Let's suppose I want to find a factorial of 6. So I write 6 and this exclamation mark. This exclamation mark means I want to find 6 factorial. And this factorial, that is 6 factorial, is equal to 1 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 3 multiplied by 4 multiplied by 5 and multiplied by 6. So it means that all the numbers from 1 to 6 will be multiplied to find 6 factorial. So now let's write a code to find the factorial of a number. So first of all, we will declare a variable, that is, let's suppose number, for which we want to find the factorial of. Integer, we will convert it into an integer input, enter a number, and then we will declare factorial is equal to 1. If number is less than 0, then we'll print sorry, factorial does not exist for negative numbers. else if elif number is equal to 0, we'll print the factorial of 0 is 1. Else, it means that it will first run the if statement if number, the number which user have entered is 0, is less than 0, it will say sorry, the factorial of negative numbers does not exist. And if the number is equal to 0, then obviously the factorial of 0 is 1. Else, if the number is greater than 0, obviously it will run, this else will run only if the number is not less than 0 or the number is not equal to 0. Then this else statement will run. So for I in range 1 comma number plus 1, number is what the user have entered. We'll say factorial is equal to factorial plus factorial multiplied by I. And in the end we will print the factorial. The factorial of number is factorial. So now let's run this. Enter the number, let's say 6. So the factorial of 6 is 720. So in this for loop, what happens is that I have assigned I in range 1. It will start from 1 because obviously this factorial of 0 is 1 and the negative number, the factorial of negative numbers does not exist. So it will start from 1 and it will run this loop till number plus 1. Let's suppose I want to find the factorial of 6. So I can't say number here because as we know that this range function excludes the last number. It will exclude this 6, but we want to multiply the numbers with 6. So that's why we want to increase it so that this number plus 1 will become 7. And because it will exclude this last number, so it will run till 6. So now let's see another method of finding the factorial. So now let's see another method for finding the factorial. The another method for finding the factorial we will be using recursion. Recursion is actually used for calling a function over and over again unless and until we get a result. So first of all, we'll start by defining a function def recur factorial, and in this we will pass the number to which we want to find the factorial, and if n is equals to 1, we'll just return the number, else we will return n, the number, multiplied by calling this function again, n minus 1. So I'll teach you how this recur function works. First of all, let's declare a variable to get the input from the user. Input, enter the number, and enclose it with an integer because the entered number must be an integer. And again we will do the same. If number is less than 0, we'll say sorry, the factorial of negative number does not exist. Else if number is equal to 0, the factorial of 0 is equals to 1. Else print the factorial of the number is this function call. Okay, then we will be calling this function. Let's run this. Enter the number. Let's say I want to find the factorial of 7. So the factorial of 7 is 5040. So now let's see how this recursion works and how it will multiply it again and again with n minus 1. So this is the step number 1, how that recursion factorial function will work. First of all, we will say this factorial is equal to recursion factorial, and we'll pass this number. And let's say I want to find the factorial of number 3. So it will pass this 3 into this function, so it will go here and this n will become 3. So first of all, it will check for this condition. If n is equals to 1, so as you know that n is equals to 3, so it will go to the else condition. And then it will return n. It means that 3 multiplied by recursion factorial n minus 1, which is what? 3 minus 1. So it will be equal to what? 2. But we haven't got the answer yet. So it will keep this in the memory, and it will again go to this function with this 2 value in it. So here again, it goes to this function with n is equals to 2, and this condition isn't satisfied yet. If condition isn't satisfied yet, and it will go to the else condition, then it will return n, which is equals to what? 2. Multiplied by recursion of factorial 2 minus 1, that is what? 1. So again, it will store this 3 into recursion factorial 2 and 2 recursion factorial 2 minus 1, that is what? 1 into the memory, and then by taking this 1 again, it will go back to this function. Now this n is equals to what? 1. Now here n is equals to 1, that's why this if condition, that is n is equals to 1, is satisfied. So it will return what? N. As it returns n, it will go here, and because in this 2 minus 1 is equals to what? 1. And this thing, it will return 1. So this one will go in this factorial. This one will go in this. So it will say 1. So it will what? 2 multiplied by 1, which will give 2. So now we have the answer 2 here. So now this 2 will go there in the memory stored, and it will then in the end multiply 3 multiplied by 2. So in this way we will get the answer 6. In this way it will continuously run one function unless and until we get the answer, and it will store this 3 multiplied by recursion factorial, and it will again store 2 multiplied by recursion factorial unless and until we get the result, unless and until we get this n is equals to 1 condition satisfied. Okay, so that's all for today. Thank you very much for watching us. Please take up some time to subscribe to our channel, kindly like the video and share it with your friends, and comment your queries in the comment section below. Goodbye, see you soon.